Hi everyone, welcome to the Crypto Hub podcast. I'm Shafeeq Qureshi, your host and founder of the Crypto Hub platform, where we're building a one-stop platform for cryptos and Web3, connecting and curating projects, the best projects in Web3 with founders and investors and the community. As part of our series of exclusive interviews with founders, investors and key opinion leaders in the space of cryptos and Web3, I'm bringing you today an interview with Tudor Holotescu, who is the CEO and founder of the Headstarter.org, which is a launchpad for the Hedera community and ecosystem. So Tudor, welcome to the Crypto Hub podcast, and it's good to have you here. Just to let you all know, Tudor and I, we've known each other for the last many years. I met him for the first time in Dubai when he was running his builders meetup, which I think you're still doing. And more recently, he's been focusing on the Headstarter.org, which is one of the projects that was recently featured on the Bybit Crypto Arc and the Crypto Hub, the Blockchain Vanguard event that took place in Dubai recently on the 6th of September. So before we dig into what you're doing with Headstarter, why don't you tell us about your journey into the space of Web3 and in Dubai, how you got into this space?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot, Shafeeq. It's a pleasure to be one of the first interviewees on the Crypto Hub podcast. I hope to return, maybe at the 100th edition, 500th one,
definitely,
hopefully. And I wish you guys the most success. I'm excited for your product to go out, and appreciate also the invitation and the recent feature. Indeed, my journey in Web3 started off in Dubai. I've been drawn to the crypto space in 2017. So it really resonated to me when I learned from Andreas Antonopoulos the values of Bitcoin, the value proposition of sound money, and why Bitcoin in itself is bound to change humanity. It's enlightening when you think how little in our normal day-to-day education we learn about money, finance, banking, what's the difference between money and currency. All these things, I think they should be taught at a more mass level. And I took it upon myself when I understood that this is something that I want to embark upon. I took it upon myself to really try to preach some of the values of crypto to people, and started organizing, I think, since 2018, the crypto builders community in Dubai, because I was looking around and there wasn't much happening. And yeah, we did everything from blockchain 101, Bitcoin 101. We looked at different layer ones, the technology, DeFi protocols. So it was really an great period of a few years. Although, in the past bear market, I can comfortably mention that there was a couple times that although people signed up, nobody showed up. And I was indeed trying to keep a low profile for the group, try to get return participants so that we can learn from each other and see how we can all progress together. And I think this kind of stuck to me because one of the things that I'm very passionate about is to make sure that projects that are sound fundamentally, that have the right set of values, vision, and go-to-market strategy that fit a 360 kind of formula for a successful startup, go to market and get the recognition, visibility, and funding that they deserve.
I'll pause you there because obviously, we'll go into the project side and obviously more about Headstarter. But you mentioned when you started your early meetups for the builder community. I remember the first time I came to one of those meetups, and we were just sitting there, and you said there was nobody else, like you mentioned. I think it was the last bear market, so we're seeing a second bear market together since we've known each other.
True.
So obviously, since then, we've seen times change. Obviously, it's a difficult time again, but there's a lot more mass adoption. The number of people that are involved in the space of blockchain, crypto, Web3 is so much different, and you can see it reflects when you go to the events, or you see, you know, people building within this space, and so it's a very different time, and we can tell the difference definitely.
Yeah,
Now,
100%.
yeah, so I remember that, and definitely. So tell us more about, you know, Headstarters. It is obviously a launchpad for the Hedera community and ecosystem projects.
Yeah.
But as I understand, you're building something bigger than that. You know, you're doing incubation and acceleration of projects. So tell us more about that, and, you know, where you are with all that you're building currently.
Thanks for the Shafeeq. And to your earlier point, I definitely agree. You know, a lot of the use cases and the applications of blockchain and Web3 technology, smart contracts have been purely theoretical in the past market, but in the past bear market, that is 2018, 2019. But nowadays, with the advent of decentralized finance, with the advent of different government-facing applications, retail-facing applications, and more immersiveness of the Web3 space into Web2, I think that there's a lot of people who have found their niche, have found their calling, and are, you know, building applications on top of different infrastructural pieces. And although it's been probably difficult for a lot of projects to maintain operations in this market, there's the ones that have solid team and backing, and believe in what they are doing. I think they will find their way out as soon as we turn the corner. For Headstarter, we've seen all of this firsthand, because since we launched in Q2 of 2022, we've went through hundreds and hundreds of applications, pitch decks, have spoken to hundreds of founders, and discussed, digested their vision, their value proposition for their project. And it's been difficult in over the past couple of years since we launched. A lot of projects kind of like decided to hibernate until things turn around. But honestly, I'm very excited for the projects that are continuously building right now, because they have found market fit. And you know that the Web3 investors, whether they are angel or venture capitalists, they do believe that the projects that they are backing will really set the tone for the years to come. And there's not a better time than right now to build. You have all the infrastructural pieces in place. You have layer ones, layer twos. There's so much innovation that needs to be done when it comes to bridges and cross-chain interoperability.
So why don't you tell us more about, you know, how Headstarter is changing the space? Obviously, you are focusing on the Hedera blockchain, which has its advantages, you know, in comparison to the EVM chains, I believe. And so tell us more about what is it that Headstarter is doing, and what has the journey been so far?
So first of all, I'll just make a quick intro about the Hedera as a layer one. So the network in itself is a distributed ledger. So it is a superset of blockchain technology, and people generally are confusing Hedera that it's kind of like enterprise focused, and indeed it's been like that over the past few years. But in 2023, it has actually embraced a lot EVM technology and is very much EVM compatible. Now, for the technology itself, it can deliver on various verticals, various applications can be built on Hedera, and tokenization and retail-facing applications, decentralized finance, this is the focus of Headstarter. And we've been, although we launched initially as a IDO launchpad, and this was our bread and butter, we stayed nimble through the past couple of years. We added support for NFT. So we do a lot of INOs right now, and We have a very solid backlog of projects that are building on Hedera, and they will be launching pretty soon. Just as a reference point, we've had around 200 projects that we've spoken to so far, and we have a good backlog of projects that either require incubation, acceleration, or are ready for a mainnet launch through a public sale event. And these projects are around 30 roughly. So we do consider that these are some of the projects that, since they are so early on in Hedera, they really set the tone. But to your point about Headstarter being more than just a launchpad, we do believe that the current model that, let's say, Kickstarter applies and is a great model for different startups, different ideas of founders to find market fit, to see if there's enthusiasm in the market for their product. We do see that a lot of this will ripple off into the Web3 space. And as a matter of fact, we recently supported the launch of a project called Citadel Wallet. And the way that they did their crowdfunding event is that they had an NFT collection, and the NFT collection, once the hardware wallet is market ready, the NFTs will be claimable against the hardware wallet itself. So that's why we see Headstarter as a 360 sandbox, if you will, where we can take projects from ideation to acceleration to mainnet launch. And we do see that tokenization is the future of the way startups will be sourcing funds and interacting with community in the future.
So you sort of work backwards. You created the platform, and then now you're providing other services like incubation, acceleration, and sandboxing future projects. Mm-hmm. What about how many projects have you had so far that have gone through the Headstarter, mm-hmm. Basically platform in terms of either launching or the incubation? I believe there are different segments.
Mm-hmm. So indeed, so we launched the Headstarter platform in Q2 of 2022. So pretty much when everybody was panicking, it was a pretty big shakeup. But I don't regret it one second. The fact that we launched in those conditions, I feel like set the tone that there is indeed important stuff happening on the Hedera network. And soon after we launched, the first DEX on Hedera launched, liquid tokens on Hedera launched, and right now all the infrastructural pieces are set in our ecosystem to accept a lot more applications, from lending protocols to GameFi, you name it. Actually, I'm very excited in particular for Web 2.5 type projects that can give real yield, that have real businesses, B2B services, and I think that this might be a unique vertical that our ecosystem.
Thanks. For users to participate in these projects on the Headstarter platform, do they need to buy the Headstarter tokens? That's
kind of like a beaten track type formula, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't reinvent the wheel there, but we've been very careful with the way that we run our token economy, and through the different products that we are attaching to Headstarter as a platform, we will be obtaining real yield through these products, and they are all in the roadmap. Some are public, some are still confidential. But what we're trying to obtain is to make sure that there is a circularity for the whole economy, where there isn't any just different events that people need to leverage the utility token so that they can attain utility. Rather, they can commit resources towards the platform so that the platform in itself will generate real yield to stakers, backers, and I'm very excited for the things that we'll be rolling out in the next few months.
So basically, you are working on a more sort of holistic engagement rather than just people buying tokens, taking and engaging, or participating in those IDOs or whatever the way of entering those projects would be, right?
That's exactly it. And we've seen a lot in the past few years with other launchpads on other chains that they've generally after an IDO, they would have a sell-off. A lot of the projects try to offset this type of stuff with NFTs that could also give them participation privileges. But we do want to make sure that the people that are into Headstarter, that believe in the project, can seriously can actually confidently stay in the platform, knowing that the protocol, the platform, and the different products it facilitates offer real yield. And I think that this will be the name of the game in the next cycle. Which projects are less speculative?
So there will be like a different approach, that you're taking to the traditional way of how other launchpads have created participation in those projects.
I think we're just offering our unique flavor to the
So
model.
that is your unique flavor. And are there other launchpads within the Hedera ecosystem that that are existing? How do you see yourself positioned against the other launchpads that are there?
As you know, so Hedera is, in terms of market capitalization, approximately top 10 when it comes to layer ones. And I do believe that there will be more and more competitors in the space, whether some of the bigger launchpads will be supporting the Hedera network or new launchpad emerging. Since we're the first mover and we're partnered with the biggest entities in the space, from Swirls Labs, from the Hashgraph, the HBAR Foundation, and the big DeFi projects on Hedera, we want to make sure that our unique value proposition is the quality of projects that we endorse. We have put together a very thorough due diligence process, and from the numbers I mentioned earlier, we've shortlisted less than 15% of our applicants. So we're very careful with the projects that we endorse. We want them to be successful, and that's why we put together all these acceleration and incubation services to make sure that we equip them with the right tools to be successful.
So obviously you have the first mover advantage, and the partnerships that you just mentioned. And in addition, you want to make sure that you have the right processes in place to identify and build the future successful projects. So that's definitely a good strategy in this space, because especially what we've seen is during the bull markets, there is so much of a rush in building and launching that you don't really get to properly exercise the right tools of due diligence that would make a project successful. And I think that's also, like, going back to what you were saying earlier, being in a bear market is a difficult time, and I guess you guys chose one of the most difficult times to launch yourselves in the beginning of 2022, right? And I think that's a very brave move, but it also shows the commitment that people like you have to this space and to building or supporting building other projects. That brings me to my next question. In terms of, you have obviously launched a token, and not in the best times, but in terms of the fundraising that you did, and what are your current fundraising plans, if any? Or are you just staying in stealth mode? How's it going?
Well, we've been running operations since we launched, and we've generated revenue. We're continuously working on the different products that I've been mentioning earlier, and we're helping a lot of the projects. One of the things that indeed is important in this market is liquidity. So one of our key focuses over the past few months has been attracting investors, private investors, high net worth individuals, venture capitalist funds towards the Hedera ecosystem, trying to showcase the projects that will be launching, that are building, accelerating, and will be launching in the months to follow. And the awareness for these projects is also a unique, encapsulated in a unique product that we are building, and that should launch in the next couple of months. But going back to your question, Shafeeq, we've been trying to stay lean over the bear market. We are indeed trying to raise for our projects, but also for Headstarter as a scale-up at this point in time, and also through some of the products independently.
Very interesting. I think that's the best way to do it. Keep on building, and you have to be very astute and smart during the bear markets, because I know many projects that raised a lot of money during the bull markets and they burnt it. They didn't manage the funds properly. It was like a bull market sentiment, and if you raised 10 million then and you didn't manage it properly, you're like 80% down. So your fundraise was basically just wasted. So I think, if you want to sustain, that's the best way to do it. Keep it lean.
Yeah.
Now, coming back to the roadmap, what is the roadmap for Headstarter going forward?
Yeah, so right now for Headstarter, one of the unique products that we're coming out with is we call it stake pools. And it's a way of the projects that are accelerating and building that pass our due diligence criteria to be showcased towards the community and to offer a vehicle for them to obtain funding from these retail participants, leveraging the staking rewards of the layer 1. And it represents a zero risk proposition for the yield delegators, and also makes them tap into the project's token at a pre-TGE stage. So it's a unique product, we feel. We have a few flavors and a few iterations to it. And also we are soon to announce a lot more partnerships on the acceleration front. We haven't yet made public our incubation program, so this is a unique opportunity to announce it. Mm-hmm. And with the incubation, we will have some grants that will be giving away to the products that we feel are most transformative and key infrastructural or game-changing pieces for our ecosystem.
So there's a lot of things planned and ready for announcement. With that in mind, what is it that you would like to communicate to your communities, to our community, the Crypto Hub community, in terms of what should they be expecting from Headstarter going forward in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? I mean, how do you see, what is the message that you want to convey, and how can they participate?
Well, one thing that I want to express to everybody is that I encourage them to look into building if they are entrepreneurs, if they are developers, build a project that is unique in the choice of technology that they adopt. There are some great layer 1s, layer 2s out there, and there are different applications that can be built on top of these networks. And I think that one of the things that the bear market teaches you is that you can build a unique product and create your USPs based on the infrastructure that you set your project upon. And it gives you clarity. There's so many applications that can be built on Hedera in particular, but also there might be other applications that Hedera might not be the best choice for.
So Tudor, obviously with everything that you're doing, communities are very important, because you have built a launchpad, and you're incubating projects, you're providing acceleration, you're providing sandboxing. So all this can only happen when you have a very sound community. So what have you done so far to engage with your existing communities, and what are your plans, for future engagements?
That's a great question, and one of the unique things that I can proudly say about our ecosystem is that the Hedera, the people that are in Hedera, and we call each other H-Barbarians, they're very committed to the network. They're very committed to the projects that are building on the space, and that are serious about enhancing everybody's experience, enhancing their recognition and their adoption as a layer 1. They've stayed true to the space. So I think that the next step is educating people into the unique value proposition that can be secured by different projects by building on Hedera. Hedera is not just smart contracts, it's not just token service. It also has something called the consensus service, which is great in certain applications. I could mention in terms of microtransactions. There's also the consensus service of the consensus time of Hedera is the lowest in the space.
So that's about Hedera.
Yeah.
But in terms of your community engagement, what have you done so far, and what are your initiatives for the future, for the near future?
Definitely, community is top right and center, because we want to make sure that we put in front of the community the best projects, and we want to make sure that we grow the Hedera ecosystem. So that's why we've been going to events featuring projects that are leading on Hedera. 2 months ago, we were in Manila, where we featured some of the leading GameFi projects, trying to open up the Hedera ecosystem to the Filipino community, which is the leading year-by-year community when it comes to GameFi products. So
that's all great. I mean, it sounds really exciting, and I really look forward to getting to know more about Hedera. Obviously, I've been watching it from the side, but I'd like to get to know more about Hedera and Headstarter. And you seem to be the best person to learn it from. Now, what is your message for the audience, your communities, the Hedera communities, the future project founders that want to build or launch on Hedera, the Crypto Hub communities? Obviously there would be many people out there who are interested in Hedera or would want to launch on Headstarter in the future. So what is it that you'd like to communicate to them in terms of, how can they get on board?
Thanks for the question, Shafeeq. Definitely, I want to welcome any developer, entrepreneur, but also service provider, investors, gamers, and Web3 enthusiasts into the Headstarter ecosystem. And I'm sure that you will be building a great community around the Crypto Hub. I'm excited to see you guys grow, and looking forward to interacting with us. And we have a lot of things packed, so we're happy to show them off, probably here in a few episodes.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you on the Crypto Hub podcast, and it's been very enlightening to know more about the Hedera ecosystem in which you're building the Headstarter. And for anybody who wants to know more about Headstarter, please go to headstarter.org or get in touch with Tudor. I'm sure you can find his details and socials on the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shafeeq.